I got an email asking if I wanted to fly in a tribute flight for a women Airforce service pilot, a WASP from World War II, and I said yes. Only until then, when I thought of tribute flights, I thought of fighters and C-130s, not Cessna 172s. Keisha from my Women in Aviation chapter was my safety pilot. Being 2020, I should note I had a scarf in the back to cover my face I offered to put on, but she was fine with me not, and frankly with my limited human contact, so was I. We were number 3 behind November 7448 Quebec pulling out there, and this is so not me forgetting I had the parking brake on, nor am I now remembering I put the parking brake on because I didn't want to forget to take any wheel chucks off. There were 7 aircraft participating in this honor flight for Mary Hines grant. The plan was for us to fly west, then double back to fly over Fort Snelling National Cemetery at 1,000 feet, which is nestled in with Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. We gathered in the run-up area for 28 left, which gave me a close-up view of the big taxi marking that I very much appreciate when aiming to land with the sun in my face. I also appreciated the great view of all the aircraft involved moving over the field, as once we were in the air, we wouldn't be seeing very much of each other. Takeoff followed the standard operating procedure at Flying Cloud, because fun fact, so far during the COVID-19 pandemic, of the top 50 busiest airports with the control tower in the United States, the only one that's seen more operations over last year is my home airport here with a 17% gain. As we climbed to altitude, waved goodbye to our side view as that camera decided to die on me. That said, we need to look ahead anyway, because we know there are at least 7 aircraft we need to be on the lookout for and keep spacing from. We had a problem though. I get in-flight position reports of aircraft around me on my iPad like this. However, the plane we were following wasn't showing up, which left me very preoccupied with just where the heck were they. We've got it easy here as we look. We're on the ground, not flying an airplane aiming to hold an altitude and an airspeed of 100 knots. Is that them? Nope. It's one of our planes, but it's the lead plane which is showing up on my iPad. So who we're looking for is somewhere between us and them. In other words, close. Got 'em. Thankfully, they're not that close, so now that we have a bead on who we're following, we can focus on getting down to our flyover altitude. With Fort Snelling National Cemetery coming into view, we can focus on our mission. With thanks to research done by the 99s, while we don't know much about Mary Hines Grant's early flight training, we do know she had difficulty navigating with an NDB. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. While she described herself as a not-so-hot instrument pilot, instrument pilots today will say that she could do them at all made her dang good. After graduating from the WASP program, Mary was assigned to the 3rd TOW Target Squadron, so she flew planes to be shot at by our boys who would be going off to war. Of the planes she flew, they included the Fairchild PT-19, the A-24 Dauntless, and the B-24 Liberator. We know during her time of service she enjoyed some good times in Juarez, Mexico with other WASPs, and on decommissioning, Mary returned home to Minnesota. Here, she married Richard J. Grant, with whom she had 4 children. She passed away at 84 and is now buried at Fort Snelling National Cemetery. I'll now be observing a moment of silence until the flyover is complete. I got to see a panel of former WASPs at the Women in Aviation conference a few years ago. They shared stories like how magically, On being selected for the WASP program, they all stopped having their periods because they knew they would end up being temporarily grounded if they reported they were having theirs. That's a bad kind of ground. But a good kind of ground is groundbreaking, and they were definitely that. I'm very thankful for having had the opportunity to honor one of them. Thanks for watching.